Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros MLB. This is Leading Off Live. It is me, Joey P. Joe Pizzapia. With me, of course, is the Welsh. And it's all of you, the Peanuts and the Cracker Jacks, hanging out here on our Twitch, twitch.tv/fantasypros. That's the place to see us Monday through Friday, noon Eastern, live. And of course, if you miss us live because you got a job or kids or a life, then watch us on demand, Fantasy Pros MLB. And when you're over there, drop your comments below, ring the bell till it goes ding, and subscribe to Fantasy Pros MLB channel, because when you do, you could win yourself a Cecil Fielder, Big Daddy himself, autographed jersey, old school Tigres. That's right. Came back from Japan, had a little stint over there, hit about 51 home runs that first year back. It was pretty spectacular. It was a story that captivated a nation in the early 90s, I want to believe, 1990 or 91. I believe that happened, if my old brain suits me. But again, drop your comments, subscribe to the channel, drop your comments below. Welsh, I have a provocative topic for the beginning of the show. Are you ready to be provocatized?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Provocatize me.
Yeah, because I've seen a lot of stuff flying around on the interwebs about Spencer Strider.
Oh,
and people saying things like, well, he was never a pitcher to begin with. He was just a guy who threw hard. And I see people saying, you know, he's got the brace surgery, not the Tommy John surgery. So maybe that's the reason we're struggling here. 2 starts ago against the Phillies, he only went 4 and change, but he did have 7 strikeouts, looked pretty sharp. The last outing, we talked about it yesterday, right? Got hit around the ballpark, gave up some home runs. I got a trade offer of a $20 Spencer Strider, basically for my $1 Shane McClanahan and my $2 Sandy Alcantara in a keeper league. What do you think about that? What side of that trade do you want to be on, my friend?
Ooh, I mean, healthy Shane McClanahan. I want Shane McClanahan at that price over him. I don't know if Sandy does too much for me. So with the stuff we talked about with Strider, here's my long-term versus short-term is the thing I have not come to terms with, because as we talked about, stuff numbers look lower. So I'll give you some of those. This is on Fangraphs. You've got fastball stuff plus over the last 2 years, 118, 106. Slider stuff plus, usually in the 120s. It was 109 last year. It was a little bit down. And then, curveball. But those are his 2 main pitches for an overall 107 stuff plus. Boom. And location plus, by the way, of 102. These are above average. This year, stuff plus on the fastball, 94. That's below average. Slider, 94, below average. Every pitch is below average with a stuff plus of 95. So here's what I'm getting at. Is this a short-term thing coming off of the brace? Is this something that is relevant to this year that he's battling in velo and command and stuff? And then he's going to bounce back and become the Strider that we knew before? Because I don't disagree. He's just like some thrower. Obviously, like a 2-pitch pitcher, it's a little bit more than that, but it was absolutely devastating stuff. Or is this something that's going to carry over long term? I don't know quite the answer to that, but what we can tell is there's clearly something off. It does not look quite as good. Don't know. What side would you be getting again? You'd be moving your Strider?
I'm getting Strider, who would be $25 next year, and the other guys move up to like $3 and $4 or whatever it might be next year. But I guess the point I'm making is this feels like the window of panic for Strider when those kind of deals are floating around from an owner, by the way, a manager in my league who has won multiple times in my home league. So this is a very savvy person, a very patient person too. And I saw Lance Brostowski did a thing about how well his location's going. I'm also wondering about the brace versus the Tommy John too, because the other guys that have gotten the brace surgery are Shohei Ohtani, who we haven't seen do anything yet, and the other one is going to be Garrett Cole next year, who's getting the internal brace, I believe. So that is going to be a fascinating when we start to, I think, have more data on that, Welsh. And I know we're taking a lot of time at this at the top, but I think it's a really good conversation. I think it's an important one. We're going to start to see, is this a better alternative to Tommy John because they get back quicker, or is it a procedure where they're never the same guy again? Lucas Giolito, another guy who got the brace, got obliterated again yesterday. He's looked terrible this year. So I guess there's so many questions, and I know I kind of put you on the spot at the top of the show, but I feel like this is the thing that everybody's looking around, and there's a huge buy low opportunity in keeper and dynasty leagues, even in redraft leagues. Spencer Strider at his best is one of the top 5 fantasy pitchers in baseball in terms of strikeouts and what he can give you. But Are we going to see that guy again? And I don't think any of us know the answer to that question.
Yeah, and I think the tricky thing with this trade specifically is also Shane McClanahan, who they said is going to start throwing around July, August. You've been kind of dicey about that, but Shane McClanahan is like a top 10 pitcher when healthy, if not
But
high.
he's also had multiple Tommy Johns now too, as has Strider. Correct if memory serves. He has a Tommy John earlier in his life, I believe. I could be wrong. I will double check that.
Yeah, that one's not clicking. I guess if I'm super out of it, or well, I guess it's kind of an in it. I don't know. I wish I had a really good answer for you. I tend to think if I were
2019 in Clemson, I was right.
Okay.
He did have a Tommy John in 2019.
If I were super out of it, like getting a $2 Shane McClanahan and a really low Sandy Alcantara that you could buy a couple years for them to both get right, like that trade can swing heavily onto the two players. Strider is cheap enough. I do kind of feel like I would lean on Strider here because I feel like maybe he can get this going.
Yeah, like I just wonder, does McClanahan ever get going again? And Sandy, we've had a long stretch here. He's looked worse than Strider, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, I have bigger concerns than him. I'm curious. In the chat, drop your comments below. If you're on the YouTube channel, if you're here in the Twitch, what do you think of Strider? Do you think he's going to bounce back? Do you think this is just him, trying to find it again? And look, he did have a leg injury too. He is a very strong lower half pitcher. A lot of his power comes from that. So this could also mean maybe that hamstring is also not 100%. Maybe it's less of an arm thing and the velocity that's usually sitting at 98 plus is sitting at 95 plus. But if you can't get people out with 95 plus in the big leagues, Welsh, that's a bigger problem. Like I find that hard to believe.
Especially when you're a two-pitch pitcher, when you're primarily a two-pitch pitcher, and that
I guess.
And big adjustments would be something you would do into a new year. He's slider fastball. It's tough to get away with that when one of those pitches doesn't work. That's the old. It's not the same thing, of course, but that's the old Patrick Corbin thing. It was just like he couldn't. You didn't have the fastball going and people just sitting on one pitch. Like that's what makes it so difficult. So I don't know. It's a really tough
once upon a
question
time was pretty good too. I remember. I'm old enough to remember when Patrick Corbin was good before he got bit by the spider. All right, let's talk about the Mets. Why? Because they beat the Dodgers again, and I'm happy about it. Griffin Canning, 6 scoreless innings, 7 strikeouts. Let's go, Griffin Canning.
Velo was
2 homers. Yeah,
Velo was up on Griffin Canning.
Mets are a pitching
across
factory.
the board.
You love it. I love to see it.
I don't know if this was a matter of he was playing up for the Dodgers or what it was, but fastball velo, that bad boy was sitting around 95. The stuff looked really great. His slider had a 41% whiff rate. He was throwing strikes. Griffin Canning, we had that question, and I felt a little about it, but I did say Griffin Canning was my choice out of those streamers yesterday, and he has just been putting it together. So a very, very impressive matchup.
And a big win, too, for the Mets, because when you take the series from the Dodgers in the regular season, if there's tiebreakers there, when you get to National Leagues and playoff time, just saying, folks, that was important. Chris Sale, 3 hits, 1 run, 4 walks, struck out 10 over 6 innings, but lost to the Diamondbacks. Boo. Pablo Lopez, that's the other big story today to talk about, so let's get to that. Diagnosed with a grade 2. Teres major strain in his right shoulder, 8 to 12 weeks. So that's that's a long time. It's a very long time. David Festa likely to be called up. He's got a 1.38 ERA in his last 3 starts. So Welsh, for those people who have Festa on the waiver wire, how aggressive would you be?
How aggressive would I be? I would be decently because he's going to be out there. I think by the way, he was already called up, I believe. So not even speculative. He's coming up. Him and Zebby are going to be there. I guess
I put the show together 6 in the morning, to be honest.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
That's what happens.
With those type of pitchers, I think they borderline. It depends on your league. It borderlines stream to hold, and I think with him probably getting 3 months now to be out there, I think I would want to kind of hold. So I would be more aggressive. Let's call it even 15. I think it's tough to spend really high fab on a pitcher, but maybe 15%. A good question would be Bubba versus him. Bubba's never coming up. He's just going to live in the minors. He's this year's junior Caminero. That's officially happened. Remember, Caminero coming up this week. Didn't come up to August. That's Bubba Chandler at this point. He's just never coming up. Would you rather have David Festa or Chandler? I'd probably still say Chandler long term, but I think they're super close. And if you wanted to make that move off of, you can, because Festa provides strikeout potential, run support, stuff like that. So I think I would be decently aggressive. Had to
All
work
right,
through
let's
that.
get to the next thing on our list here, and hopefully Pablo Lopez we do see by the end of the season. Whether or not the Twins will be relevant by then, that's another question. Merrill Kelly, one walk, just one walk. It's unbelievable. 8 strikeouts, 7 shutout innings for him over the Bravos. Brandon Lau, 3 for 4 with a home run and double. So I'm sure people will want to be calling the Rays about him. Shane Baz, 5 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. He was doing pretty well. Then things kind of fell apart in the 5th inning. And to me, this is all about how we train our pitchers, right? We're training them to be 5 inning guys. So of course, by the time they get to the 5th inning, it's like training for a race, right? If you don't train for, the fact that you got to run a certain length, you're going to start to get tired. And that seems to be what happens to Boz in some of these starts. But in terms of your confidence, next week he's got 2 starts, Red Sox and Mets. Would you start Shane Boz?
Nope. Don't like that matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Don't like it at all. I would wonder what the matchups are for Merrill Kelly. I feel better about Merrill right now than I do, I think, Shane Baz. Shane Baz is still rocking almost 5 ERA. Big barrel numbers against right now. Can't go deep into games, and that's the opposite of Merrill Kelly, who does go deep into games. He's got a 3.5 ERA. Strikeouts are high, walks are low. He's carrying this team. Diamondbacks trying to put together some wins. I think you're better set with Merrill Kelly right now than you are Shane Baz.
We still don't have a Brandon Woodruff update, too. I just realized. I saw somebody post it in the chat, and I'm thinking, I haven't seen anything. Like, did we get any
Probably
sort
send him to
of
Germany to change out his blood and whatever they got to
uh,
do. It's
God.
cursed.
Jackson Chourio, 3 for 5, his 10th home run, so he's certainly heated up. We talked about him as a buy low about a month ago, so hopefully you bought. MacKenzie Gore, 3 singles in 7 innings, struck out 7. He has been a strikeout machine this year, and the Cubs got shut out by the Nats. Clarke Schmidt with a good start, 7 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts, and 5 2/3 against the Guardians. And a little bit of baseball news, like baseball, not fantasy. Rob Manfred said yesterday that they are going to propose to the competition committee to implement the ABS system, the automated challenge of balls and strikes. Welsh, I'm for this. Where do you stand?
Yeah, I'm 100% for that.
It's
I
in
don't know
the
why
minor
we didn't
leagues
do it
already.
this
What's
year.
the big deal, right?
Well, they had been working on this multiple years in the Arizona Fall League. We saw it in play. We saw the system work great this year. It's like bop, bop, tap your hat, go to the
Yeah.
screen. It happens in minutes. I'm really not sure what else. And they're like, well, we're going to propose it based on feedback. It's like, no, if they're so comfortable adding in bigger bases and we're banning shifts and doing all this, you've done this for years. Put this in. It instantly makes the game better. I'm forgetting what the ump was. I think it was last night. There's one of those mini Twitter accounts, and it's like the ump auditor or whatever like that. There was a call on Mangum, Jake Mangum, and it was like the worst call in the history of this account going
humans
through.
make errors, It
Yeah.
happens.
So put the screen up there. Put the screen up there because it's easy. It's worked. They've done it for years. I don't know why they didn't do it this year. I don't know what they're talking about waiting for a couple years. You can also like adjust a tiny bit on the fly. The only thing I could imagine that they're trying to figure out is the sensitivity of like, because there's this thing where it's like if the ball just like touches the zone in the tiniest bit, then it's instantly a call. Maybe there's an adjustment there. I don't know why it takes 2 years. What are they, a Marvel movie? Like what? It doesn't take that long. Just put it in the system. It makes it better.
I don't think it takes that long to make a Marvel movie nowadays. Everything is green screen anyway. I feel like they make it pretty fast. But I'm with you. I'm for it. You saw it a little bit in spring training this year. You see it in the minor leagues. Let's do it. Lookie time. Zebby Matthews, 5 innings, 1 run baseball, 4 strikeouts. Got to win against the Athletics, who were terrible. Mick Abel was indeed able against the Blue Jays. We were a little concerned about that matchup, but he was very good. 5 1/3 yesterday, 1 run. Welsh, anything to add on Mick Abel's start against the Blue Jays? Are you impressed?
I'm thoroughly impressed. He did not have the whiffs. He only had 5 total whiffs in that. He didn't have the strikeouts in there. Velo was also down, I think, based off of his last start. So he was really pumping up, but he still got really good results. We'll have to see. I don't want to, keep kicking the can down the road for him, but like this was he had a 19% called strike and whiff percentage, CSW percentage. He had none of that stuff, but he still induced just like bad contact and got it done. That's 2 good starts. He's going a little bit deeper into games. Mick Abel is totally someone that we can put some trust into. I just don't know exactly what type of fantasy pitcher he's going to be yet, because it was high strikeouts, super low strikeouts, but he is very efficient right now. And I think that is making him a super intriguing option. Yeah. They just got so many guys. Andrew Painter's still going to be coming. So that's why I have questions about him.
I don't know if you saw the Painter start. He got beat around the ballpark a little bit. So a little humanizing of Andrew Painter. Kyle Teal might not be human. 3 for 5 with a double RBI, 1 run scored yesterday in AAA. Kumar Rocker allowed 6 hits, 5 runs, and 2 walks, 5 strikeouts against the Rays. So a little bit of everything. Not much of it very good.
We know you want him to be a closer. We know.
Just saying. I mean, if the bullpen fits, look, it solves 2 problems at once, Welsh, which is he doesn't have a lot of innings. He's struggling as a starting pitcher, and you need a closer. Actually, 3 problems at once. So I'm even more efficient than I realized. Agustin Ramirez, 0 for 4 with a strikeout in the loss to the Rockies yesterday. The OPS has fallen dramatically all the way to 761. He's 3 for his last 24. Are you panicking about Agustin Ramirez?
I don't know if I'm panicking, but he's definitely coming back down to earth. I never thought he was a high batting average guy, though. And I think I said that a decent amount on here. Never thought he was like a 270 guy. He's hitting 240. I will say, though, his expected batting average is 272. The low strikeouts are the thing that give me like a little bit of a better feel for him, because the hitting profile, while it's not like in this elite territory anymore, 8% barrel, 46% hard hit rate. That looks solid. Expected numbers like him. He hits the ball hard, but he's not striking out 15% of the time. That is just not something that I expected. So while I do think, yes, there are some worries with him, having like this slow tick down, he has made 88% zone contact percentage. That's probably one of the highest of catchers. I'm not looking at a leaderboard or anything, but I think if anybody is like moving off of him and dropping him, I would be comfortable picking him up, but you just have to have like tempered expectations. He's catcher between 9 and 12. He's like a back end starter.
Yeah. Which is kind of where we said he would be when he came up, right? Maybe he'll crack that top 10, but he'll float right around there. Just a hunch. Quote of the day here. Finally cut Michael Harris. I'm free. Good for you, Hunch, because that brings us right to fun facts. Michael Harris yesterday, 0 for 4, 2 more strikeouts. Christian Walker, 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts, and Adolis Garcia got back into the lineup. So, Welsh, I'm going to give you a choice.
What's fun? What are the fun facts about
this? This is where the fun comes in.
All right.
I'm going to give you a choice with all these facts. Garcia was sitting for the last, 3 days? Michael Harris, Christian Walker, Adolis Garcia. You can have one rest of season, just one. Who is the lucky guy?
Ooh, I need to look at Adolis real quick. 7 homers, 5 stolen bases.
Get in there.
Well,
Adolis or Michael Harris or Christian Walker. Who is your guy? Jerry just dropped Christian Walker today, so obviously
I mean,
Walker for him.
I've been kind of advocating, like, if you want to move on from Christian Walker, I don't think you're going to like it. I think I'm going to go with Michael Harris. I'm going to say Michael Harris is the guy.
I don't disagree with that. I think that's fine. He's not good, but you can pick
but Adolis is definitely not good, and Christian Walker has not been good. There's more power potential with those other guys, but I think there's more batting average and stolen base potential with Michael Harris. He could also potentially move up the lineup a bit. Both of those guys are fine, but I mean, it's so funny. Adolis had 3 years of this production. I remember like me and Spore and all that stuff, we would like continuously every year Adolis would perform and we'd be like, he's not going to continue. It's not going to continue. And then finally, like it was like the 3rd year, you're like, okay, he just is this. And then he started to taper down as soon as everybody just kind of finally ate all of the expected numbers and whiff rates and stuff like that. So I'm just not a big Adolis guy. I was a huge Christian Walker guy, but I think Michael Harris is the play here.
Well, Welsh, looking at these guys too, it just reminds me of when your performance is not quite what it could be, and especially for fantasy managers right now, fatigue is lingering. They haven't recovered all season. And if your performance, like Michael Harris or Christian Walker or Adolis Garcia's performance, is not quite up to standard, could be the sign of low testosterone, a condition affecting about 30% of adult men in America. And Kaisertrex, an FDA-approved testosterone replacement therapy designed for men like you. It's not an injection. No, it's not a gel. It's a twice-daily pill that fits seamlessly into your active lifestyle. So if you're fishing or setting lineups on my playbook, you can take the Kaisertrex. Boom! You take the Kaisertrex right in the middle of a draft, if that's what you're doing. seamlessly into your lifestyle. And it'll restore your testosterone to optimal levels. Now, you can know your T-score and get tested by using kaisertrex.com/testing kit. They're available right now, the testing kits. That's kaisertrex.com/testing kit, KYZATREX, by prescription only. Kaisertrex is a controlled substance that can be a target of abuse. Don't abuse the Kaisertrex, please. We always say that. Welsh always says it. Always. He says, don't abuse the Kaisertrex. Safety and efficacy in those younger than 18 is not known. Kaisertrex is not for use with pregnant women, obviously, because it's for testosterone, or men with prostate or breast cancer. Tell your doctor about all the medical conditions and medications you might be on. Serious side effects could include increased blood pressure, worsening prostate symptoms, increased risk of prostate cancer, blood clots in the legs or lungs, decreased sperm count, liver problems, enlarged or painful breasts, and breathing problems while you sleep. Common side effects include swelling of the ankles, body, or feet, increased red blood cell count, and increased PSA, prostate-specific antigen levels. PSA is a test used to detect prostate cancer. Report these symptoms immediately to your doctor and call your doctor to learn more about Kaisertrex. For questions or information, visit kaisertrex.com just kaisertrex.com, or call 1-833-949-5040. All right, we're done paying the bills. Let's get to some more baseball. And let's talk about the 3 up and 3 down. Gavin Sheets drove in 4 more runs. Riley Greene 3 for 5 with a double, and Chase Meidroth, baby, 3 for 4 with an RBI. Caught stealing though. That's a bummer. The downs.
Didn't we have a question yesterday, by the way, where it was Sheets, Greene, and 2 other players? Didn't somebody have that decision?
We picked Greene. Yes.
We did pick Greene. We didn't pick Sheets, and we picked somebody else. I don't know.
All right. Greene was good. 3 for 5 with a double, 2 ribbies. I'll take that. How about these downs? Lucas Giolito, 7 runs, an inning and a third. Ugh. In that same game, Jose Soriano, 7 runs and 3 2/3, and Kyle Harrison, he let me down, Welsh. I'm disappointed. 5 runs, 9 hits, and then he got hit on the way out, too. Like, he took a line drive. So Kyle Harrison's going to get replaced, and you could drop him now. It sucks. Although I think his next start against... Yeah, getting hit with line drives.
Yeah, why are they all getting hit so much?
I don't... Because nobody can feel their position anymore. The art of pitching was about location. You hit the ball, you field it. You're like, watch Greg Maddux. You know what? Any kid who wants to learn to pitch, go watch Greg Maddux. Didn't have the greatest velocity, had the greatest control. He worked on the control. It's something you can actually work on and get better at. He understood where the outs were. He studied the weaknesses of hitters. He found out what they were, and he constantly remembered and would take notes and do all this stuff. He worked at it, and that's why he's one of the greatest pitchers ever. Not to mention a hell of a defender, if you recall Greg Maddux on the mound. Very good.
And Greg Maddux, Gold Gloves. You think Greg Maddux right now, in this version of baseball in the game, would be as elite as he was?
I think he would be the most elite, and I'll tell you why. Because of all this launch angle nonsense, because these guys are just looking to swing for the fences, and he is going to change speeds on you, change locations on you. He might actually set a career high in strikeouts because of the way baseball is right now. Now, I'm not saying there's not a lot of talent in baseball. There is. But there was a lot of talent in baseball when he was facing Barry Bonds and he was facing the Sammy Sosas of the world and all the other guys around that time. So I don't want to hear about like how everybody's so much better now necessarily, but I will tell you this. The control, the acumen for pitching, I think he would dominate. And the fact that he would take the ball every 5th day, which is something that hardly anybody does either.
I feel like I'm in for parts of this. I feel like the strikeout numbers could be higher because you got guys that are swinging more. I'm just not sure, because what I was getting at was like, would he be that same great success level? You also have so many more guys. You sounded old fuddy-duddy, by the way. You're like, this is not launch angle nonsense. Like,
I got your launch angle right here, pal. Huh?
There's more analytics in it that you're going to have guys as far as attack angle, bat speed. They're going to be so much more aggressive in attacking. It's lower velos, which guys are going to catch up to. I'm not saying he wouldn't still be great, but you just wonder with like this version of the game. I actually think he would go in the other direction a little bit, but I do think the strikeouts could be higher.
I think the strikeouts would be higher. I think he would dominate. I think these guys don't have the work ethic or the approach necessarily that a guy like
I think Kirby's a pretty good example of him.
But I'm just saying, like, who is George Kirby?
Kirby's a good full command guy. I mean, this year's been a little bit bad, but low walks. He just sits in the zone. He throws you strikes all day, and he's throwing 95.
Yeah, but again, I think it's that other level of pitching that what Matt, and I don't know if you ever watched that. I think it was MLB Network did that Maddox special, where he talked about like he would remember what he threw to a guy the year before to get him out and then would
Sure.
realize that what that guy's looking for now and I'm going to do something else. That
But
kind of a
see,
mind for the art form of pitching is stunning. By the way,
it
don't I
is.
look
But
kind of like Robert De Niro at the end of Goodfellas when he's trying to get her to Lorraine Bracco to go in there and get the first? Like,
yeah.
yeah, go
Only
in
thing
there.
I would
Yeah,
argue
it's right
is
around the corner. Yeah,
uh,
it's fine. Go in there.
Maddox was very special about remembering, but there's this really cool thing now called like iPads and video, and they can remember instantly with a click by watching all their bats. It's this
Imagine how
really,
good he
really
would
cool
be with all
thing.
the technology.
Yeah, and maybe he would be better. Also, famously like to like pee on his teammates and stuff. He was a prankster. He did gross things.
Thanks.
He did.
Wow. Thanks for that ending to that segment.
Just saying.
Let's go to injury.
I don't know if he could still do that. Would he be the same pitcher if he couldn't do all his pranks and stuff on everybody?
I don't know. Logan Gilbert, 2 runs, 3 innings Wednesday in a rehab start for AAA. Carlos Correa, scratch with back tightness. Oh, Carlos Correa. Mark Vientos, we got some more information about his hamstring strain. 10 to 14 days, low grade hamstring, so that's good for him. It's still bad because I just don't know what he's going to come back to. Sean Manaea made a minor league rehab start, or he's going to, excuse me, on Friday, so we'll keep an eye on that, see how that goes.
Why don't you go
for
see him? It's in Brooklyn. Isn't that close? I have no idea.
No. I mean, it's not far, but it's certainly not. Brooklyn on a Saturday is not really where I'm
How
going.
far is
Plus, we have
Brooklyn
football.
from where you are?
It's about, well, without traffic, an hour and 15. With traffic, could be 3 days. No, it's an hour and a half ish. But we have football tournament Saturday and Sunday this weekend, so no, I'm not going Friday.
You should just go see him. You don't want to support your friends. It's
I
disappointing.
have friends. I just don't want to drive to Brooklyn.
Manaea.
Yeah, well, Jazz around the corner, but again, I'm not a Yankee fan, so the time that I went to remember, I was gonna see Garrett Cole last year when he made his rehab start. And I told you they hiked up the tickets, usually like $20. They were like $80.
Yeah, it's stupid.
And I was like, screw you. That's BS. I'm not doing that. You're not taking my money from me, Yankees. You got enough of it. Jorge Soler came out yesterday with a groin tightness, and Nolan Arendola. Arendola has been shut down due to right side soreness. So does that mean more Mick Abel potentially here we're going to see?
There is the possibility for sure. I mean, like Abel looks like he might be the guy while Nola is out. If Nola misses extended time, what it could end up being is like Abel and Painter kind of become one pitcher, to some degree, where it's like they send Abel down, they bring, they could do something like that. But listen, Abel's had 2 fantastic starts. He's going to get more opportunity here. This is bad news about Nola. I think we had a lot of questions in the live stream yesterday, which, by the way, go back and watch. We answered a ton of questions right on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/FantasyPros MLB, live every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern. And someone was asking us, like, Nola and like 3 other guys, and we were both kind of huffy about like maybe it's Nola right now, but this is the type of stuff you hate to see. And I mean, even though it's just soreness, but any temporary shutdowns or stoppages or whatever, it's bad news. And by the way, we are still waiting on potential bad news. Should be coming down today theoretically on Corbin Burns. This is supposed to be Thursday. They said maybe Friday. Just throwing this out in the bad news market that we are waiting on the Corbin Burns second opinion results, which will likely be horrible.
Yes, and which make the Diamondback sellers, I would imagine. Game over, says Red Sox with the Mickey Mouse walk-off home run. It was. That's the pesky poll. That ball probably would have been, 20 rows deep in Yankee Stadium, though, right?
It sounds like 309 or something, just something ridiculous. One that Joe and I absolutely in our home run contest,
100% we cleared that with ease. Oh, look, we hit some balls, man. There's no doubt about that. We also, besides hitting baseballs and, talking for a living, we also like to do the best bets
of the day.
And look at that. Boom. Back to normal. StreamYard was being a wank the last couple of days. And now we're back on. So let's go. San Francisco on the run line, -118. It's a good pitching matchup, but I'm going to take Robbie Ray, who's been really good for them Giants. He's at home. Let's go there. -118 is not too bad of the juice here. Give me Houston on the run line as well. Framber Valdez is going to be too much for anybody. He's just such a good pitcher there. So give me Framber in this one on the run line as well. -1.5 plus money, +102. I'll take it. And then Pete Crow-Armstrong to score a run is just -130 today. Normally, you're going to see this one be a little bit more juiced. I don't know why it's not, but more on Pete Crow-Armstrong later in the show. He has been a godsend for the Chicago Cubs this year. So San Fran run line, San Fran on the money line, that should say, that's my bad. Houston on the run line, and then Pete Crow-Armstrong to score a run. Those are my bets for today. Welsh, what do you have for the people?
All right, Detroit, Chicago White Sox, Nerfy, no run first inning, minus 125. Sean Burke has actually been pretty solid. I'm kind of banking on both offenses ticking down a little bit. So we're going no run first inning on that game. We've got James Wood, 1.5 over total bases. Really, anytime we can get that plus money on James Wood, it's a really solid bet. And Aaron Judge, looking around at the different plus monies on Aaron Judge, you can't find him unless you're betting homers. It's minus money on total bases, minus money on runs, but RBI, get plus money at plus 110. Aaron Judge gets into the action with plus money on the RBI. So Judge, Wood, and a little bit of Nerfy action for me.
I love this. Ryan in the chat's going to call Michael Harris for a home run today. If Michael Harris hits a home run today, I will wear my mullet wig on the show tomorrow if he hits a home run today. Okay?
I mean,
the game already started, too. It's already underway.
Oh, I say I want more, but...
No, I'm just saying. I'll dig into the closet, find the mullet wig, put it on, wear for the whole show tomorrow. That's what I'm willing to do.
I like it.
All right. Very good. Those are our best bets of the day. Make sure you also go to fantasypros.com/leading off. FanDuel, you can be a new customer, bet $5, get $250 in bonus bets if you win that first $5 bet. Only at FanDuel, fantasypros.com/leading off. And don't forget, use the Betting Pros free trial right now. Download Betting Pros, the app, and make sure you use the Betting Pros premium tools for free for 7 days. When you plug in that little promo code leading off, that's how you do it there. Let's take a look at the home run board, see where things are at today. Wonky Penguin at 19. I picked the wrong Met. If I had Alonso, would I be on the board? Let's see, I had 16, right? So, or I had 15. So I would be one away. So not great. I think I've got 15, right? I always forget. I'm always counting myself side.
I thought you had 16. I think I had 17.
Yeah. I have 16. Okay, so I would have been on the board today, theoretically, had I had Alonso. Wrong Met. It was close. It's okay. We'll get there, of course. Join our Discord, fantasypros.com/chat. That's where we are. Welsh is at 17. I'm at 16. We're giving away the Sammy Sosa jersey from pristineauction.com. I'm going to stick with my boy PCA, Pete Crow-Armstrong, plus 350 today to hit a home run to go yard. I think it's Irvin on the mound, I believe, for the Nats today. Where are you going, Welshie?
I'm gonna go with the Joe Pisapia special. Aaron Judge. Give me Aaron Judge.
No, I can't believe you go with Aaron Judge. Oh,
man,
loser.
Saying no, you're allowed to do it. You're allowed to do it every day if you want.
Every day if you wanted to. Every day you could do it. I encourage somebody to do it every single day. Also, you know what I encourage everybody to do? If you enjoy the show, we were talking about this yesterday in the live stream, like the streams. These are very little things you can do. Like the streams. If you're listening to the podcast every day, leave a 5-star review of the podcast. Look, we are this little niche community that continues to grow, and it's because of all of you together here with us. So if you're a fan of the show, I saw one of the best comments I've ever seen yesterday's show, or 2 days ago show, which somebody said, I'm starting to like this show more than I even like baseball at this point. And that made my heart just sing. I love hearing that. That's fantastic. That's what I want to hear. That if your fantasy teams might suck, you still love baseball. You come here, you hang out with us for a little bit of baseball every single day and a little bit of fun. That means the world to us. That's why we're here doing this thing. That's why we put the work in every single day. And there's a few ways you can thank us, and that is by subscribing to the YouTube channel. It's liking the streams every single day when you're in there. It seems like a little stupid, innocuous thing, but it makes a big difference. And then, of course, if you listen to the podcast, 5-star reviews wherever you listen to your podcast. Those are the kind of things, if you're joining us on Twitch, same thing, be a subscriber there. Welsh, anything else to add on that point for our lovely little community here of Peanuts and Cracker Jacks?
They're digital hugs. They're digital hugs, digital kisses, all those things. I mean, digital hugs maybe more for us, but you know what I'm saying? Just do all the things and follow us on the Twitters and just support the show. Why not?
Support the show. They said this couldn't be done.
Tell them how much you love me.
And we've been proving it wrong, especially the
Go to my Venmo.
He's a very good digital kisser. I can attest to that. Yeah. Excellent digital kisser.
Very gross term, to be honest with you. Shouldn't say.
All right. So have a great day. We know there's baseball on right now, so we'll let you get after it and watch that. That'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on. For Welsh, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids.
Peace out.
Digital hugs.
Would you like a digital kiss?
I hope Michael Harris hits 3 home runs today. That's what I hope. Yeah, sure, buddy. Maybe you'll get a hit.
I want you to eat that crow bad tomorrow.